Hello and welcome to another edition of Video Games to the Max. It's episode 447. I'm your host, Sean Garmer. Here with me, as usual, Mr. Mark Morrison.
Howdy.
And we did. If you want to hear our thoughts on the Switch 2 and Summer Game Fest and some of the other showcases, we did already do an episode for that. So you can go watch that on the YouTube channel or find it on the podcast feed as well, Video Games to the Max. But today we are talking Xbox Games Showcase and, our favorite games from that, and also the official announcement of the ROG Xbox Ally and ROG Xbox Ally X, or ROG. Some people say it's ROG, some people say it's ROG, whatever, floats your boat on that. And Marc's on plans this Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster, not on Switch 2. But hey, it is a game you can get on Switch 2 if you want. And yeah, we'll talk about some other things as well, some small news bits. But for the most part, this has been showcase season, so it kind of ends in, whether it is grand style or not. But we'll get into all that and more right after this.
You are listening to Video Games to the Max.
All right. Well, I guess let's go ahead and get this housekeeping out of the way here really quick. Again, just mentioning that we did do an episode on Saturday. Normally, we only do the one live episode a week, which is usually Mondays at this time around 9 p.m. Eastern. But you can find that other episode that we did that talked about Summer Game Fest, sort of like an early review of Switch 2, Mario Kart World, some of the other showcases that happened that wasn't just Summer Game Fest, the Sony PlayStation State of Play, all that. We talked about our favorite games from that show. So definitely worth checking out. And the YouTube video has like the timestamps if you want to just go and listen or watch the one thing there. Also, if you subscribe to the channel, you not only get what we do here with Video Games to the Max, but if you like other things like anime and entertainment stuff, TV shows, that kind of thing, you can go check those out as well. Otaku Cafe does a great job of reviewing the seasonal anime. Right now we're in the midst of about to be the summer season. They're wrapping up that, whole spring deal. They'll be doing their awards and all that pretty soon for that. And then, of course, you got the routes and broadcasting people that do all of every week there's some big movie that they're reviewing or a TV show they're keeping up with. So if you're into that world, definitely check them out. They're worth watching, subscribing to as well on the channel. And you can also listen on podcasts. Just go find whichever show you want to listen to, or all three, and go subscribe. Find us there, hit a review, like all that stuff. It helps us out. Until then, I guess let's go ahead and get started, Mark. Just general thoughts before we kind of get into, I guess, breaking things down and whatnot. What did you think of the Xbox Games Showcase for 2025?
That was mostly okay. I think the Sony one was I wouldn't say more high-profile games. It was a little more exciting. But this had a lot of good stuff in it, more or less. Except I really hated how they did everything, like the stupid, world premiere. After basically every damn trailer, or before every trailer, and then them having to pound it in your head this is, get it on Game Pass, fuckers. They should have just said that.
Yeah, that would have really brought the point home. Just say it like that. Go ahead. Sorry.
There were at least 4 or 5 interesting looking games, so sure.
Yeah, we'll get into those here when we finish wrapping up the discussion on the showcase. So they started off with The Outer Worlds, which we know was going to be the direct focus
It,
that was held at the end.
is it funny to you or to anyone else except for me that, the Outer Worlds 2 is predicated on like capitalism is bad or greed is bad,
Yes.
and that this is the first $80 Xbox game?
I really don't think this is doing them any favors,
Yeah.
especially because, there's people that really like Avowed, but I think there was a lot of more of a crowd that kind of thought it was just okay.
Right.
Or great for Game Pass, but maybe not something they want to go and buy, even though it did do decently well, sales wise, and it's still not on PlayStation. So we'll see if it does wind up going over there before the end of this year, what happens on that front. But honestly, yeah, it to me that was kind of the biggest downer because I get it that they're they're proud of the game and it's bigger and they put in a lot more good stuff into it. And maybe not as much as the Exile game that we'll get to in a little bit, but
Right.
I thought the direct that they showed afterwards highlighted a lot of great things about the game. I was much more interested in it than I was to start out with. And then you drop the $80 price thing, and it's just kind of like, oof, man. Look, I'm going to play it on Game Pass, so it doesn't affect me. But anybody that's on the PlayStation end of it or Steam, that those are two ecosystems that Xbox highly values, and you're kind of like telling them, all right, you're going to pay $80 for this thing. I don't know why. You have the premium game to start that out with, which is Call of Duty, to kind of be able to judge whether this is going to work out well for you or not. I don't think Outer Worlds 2 was a great test case for this, but you know. And did you watch anything outside of that initial trailer for Outer Worlds 2? Or
No, because it's more of the same. Like I'm sure they'll have more crap, but I like the first one. That's kind of good. I'll give the second one a shot once it goes on sale.
Fair enough. Then they showed off High on Life 2. Which that was kind of a surprise. I don't think a lot of people were thinking that was going to get shown off so quickly, and then that's got Game Pass. It's interesting. They did do that. Like I kind of understand why they did the Game Pass thing sort of twice, because now they turn it into that like small little icon that's on the screen.
Yeah.
And then aside from that, it's just, oh, now we got to blast it in your face that it's on Game Pass as well. But sometimes it's like, sometimes they do it at the beginning. Sometimes they do it at the end. It's kind of like, I don't know why we're not just putting it in the same spot each time instead of like
or just announce it at the start and that'd be it, like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like have it in the same place every time when you're doing the world premiere thing. Or
no,
saying,
I just mean like at the start of the showcase, like everything we've shown is on Game Pass. Done.
Well, that's because not everything was on Game Pass. That's why they had to do
okay,
it
but then
way.
like have a special thing at the end going like these 4 games aren't on Game Pass. Buy them.
Yeah, I kind of understand it, but I'm just saying at least pick a spot, right? Like if you're gonna put that it's Xbox Play Anywhere or whatever at the beginning of each promotion, just put the Game Pass is there as well. If it's not, then just don't include it or whatever. But it was kind of annoying to have that just constantly. It felt like we had to throw it in there, in different parts, and it was just kind of all over the place at that point with that. But
I was pretty surprised at that High on Life 2 trailer. 2 things. One, they made it in the first place. So I was like, I thought this game didn't do well. Like,
no, I mean, at least for Game Pass, it did really well. It was like the most talked about thing on Game Pass for a while when it first came out.
But then also, like that trailer, like it had music and sound effects and stuff, but it was incredibly quiet. Like there was no voice acting at all.
That's kind of one of the hooks of that game is the.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're not gonna get that Justin Roland guy back, obviously, but like.
Yeah,
I thought it's been a while since I saw the first one, but I was like, didn't everything talk in this game? Or all the
well, it was the gun. It was the guns mostly that would talk. Right.
And now like, that's all gone, it looked like.
Yeah. Or maybe they're still figuring that out, like who's gonna do the voice acting stuff there, or they didn't want to make that kind of a a talking point.
Gonna try to figure out how to get Chris Pratt to voice every gun.
Right. Yeah, man. Hey, that was a good surprise. It's nice that it's there. Let's see if High on Life 2 does
I mean, did you play the
well.
first one, or doesn't seem like
I
your game at
played some
all?
of it. I played some of
Okay.
it on Game Pass, but it's not kind of like not my game, so
Right.
you know, it is what it is on that. I'm not always gonna go in order here, so just to be aware. The one thing that surprised me, and I love the crap out of it, is we're celebrating Super Meat Boy by having it be in 3D, and it's going to come out early 2026. One of the first
cool.
Xbox Live Arcade games. Love seeing that. That was cool.
Yeah. I didn't. The only thing I didn't like was the pipe at the start.
Oh yeah, I was kind of like, okay, well, I know this is not Mario, so it's like, what are we doing here? But I mean, I guess nice for them to, be able to have fun with it.
It'll be interesting. I mean, that's on everything. It'll be kind of interesting to see if they do. It'd be cool if they did like platform specific characters or like secret characters.
Yeah. Interesting if they will do that. I don't know. I mean, they could.
Yeah. Like, imagine playing that game with Astrobot.
That'd be awesome.
All right.
Definitely would be buy. If I'm a PlayStation owner, I'd be buying it if you get to play with Astrobot. But I mean, I'm just. It's like it was awesome just to see how well they brought that into 3D. And I'm excited to. This is one of the ones that kind of was like, oh wow, big surprise, and I'm excited to play this when it does come out. So, for sure, they hit that one, and because not a lot of the surprises were, I think, what people were expecting. It's certainly in the, all right, this is definitely like AA game kind of thing, not something that I was not me particularly, but I'm just saying people in general.
Like that solo leveling Arise thing. It's like, yep.
Yeah, well, that one I can kind of understand. Solo leveling is perhaps the biggest anime right now of the newest ones. It just won Anime of the Year from Crunchyroll, so why not? But also like
I looked at that. I legitimately thought like they just invented it for like some stupid gag, or it's just
no. It's had 2 seasons now. It's one of the biggest anime out there. The ex Witcher 3 devs, including their creative director, is there for that Blood of Dawnwalker, which looks cool.
That looked rough, I thought. Like, I guess the idea isn't terrible, but it looked like Oblivion. And I don't mean the new one. I mean like the old one.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's what I meant by they definitely have some weird ones in here that is kind of like, okay, wasn't expecting that at all. I don't think but sure, another one was the Game Freak game, which people were sitting there going, oh wow, Game Freak's not, guys, they've made I don't know how many games that are not Pokemon. Just got to go look up their development history. Like, it's this is not the company that got him out of Pokemon jail or whatever. It's, I mean, they've been making, and this one actually looked really. I thought, it looked good. I mean, sure, another kind of Dark Souls-ish thing, but still like the Beast of Reincarnation or whatever. I'll definitely want to see more of it.
Right.
One of the highlights of the show, perhaps maybe a lot of people's game of the show really, is Clockwork Revolution, which just got shown off by NXL, I think like a few years ago. And it looked cool then. And then they gave this about like 5 minutes in here.
And then they still didn't like say when it's coming out, which I thought was funny.
Yeah, that was really interesting because I was just kind of like, okay, surely that means this has a release date.
Right.
right? If
That definitely looks like one of the things that was more done than some of the other stuff they showed, or any of this stuff that actually has a date. So,
well, because normally when you do a trailer that long, it's
right.
because you're going to give us a release date at the end,
Unlike,
and
say, a certain other game we'll talk about in a few minutes.
that's kind of like, all right, yeah,
Right.
that was awesome. I will
Yeah.
say that, like, um, I'm not, the Western RPG person, but I, I love the look of that game, and I love the fact that they just keep hitting you with like cool stuff about it constantly. And
Yeah.
I was
The
just
only
like,
thing
all right,
about that Clockwork Revolution game is like for the first 4.5 minutes until they actually showed like the name of it, I legitimately thought it was like the new Bioshock game.
oh, okay, yeah. Oh, like you thought it was actually like, okay, but not Judas or whatever, but like the actual
No,
Bioshock
no,
or
like
like,
2K is making like another Bioshock game by
right.
themselves. Or yeah, I thought it was like that, or there's going to be some successor to. I mean, it looks like Bioshock Infinite kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like, because Wasteland 3 was a really, I know you liked Wasteland 3, right?
Right. Yeah, it's not your type of game, or I mean, those aren't your type of like RPGs.
Right, but I mean, like, I'm just like, this is a glow up. Like, this is definitely a
Oh
team
yeah,
that took that
like
Microsoft money and they're making something awesome out of it.
yeah,
You
it's
know,
it's the same thing as kind of like CD Projekt Red. Like you wouldn't expect, based on like The Witcher and The Witcher 2, even The Witcher 3, you wouldn't expect them to make Cyberpunk, but they
right?
did, and it largely was good. So yeah, it's the same. It's them trying something new, and it looks good.
Yeah, definitely. This was one of the highlights, and it's cool. It just kind of, and this one didn't even say 2026 or anything. It just said
Right,
in due time. So it's like, well, okay, I guess if
2028,
they,
or.
which to be fair, with if all of the big four that Phil gave out at the end of the showcase really do come out in 2026, I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah,
And you may not need this game to come out in until 2027 or whatnot. So I'm good if
right.
they're gonna let this cook a while to make sure it's good. So another thing is also they showed the next Plague Tale game. That was kind of a surprise in here too, which I love the first game. The second one I wasn't that as much of a fan of. There's some people
Yeah.
that really love the second one too. I don't know if did you play at least the first one?
No, I didn't play either one.
Okay. Well, this is on Game Pass again. Team Asobo always seems to, it's kind of like Don't Nod. They definitely have fans and whoever makes the decisions for the what gets on
Right.
Game Pass. But this looked really cool. It's apparently a prequel, so there's no rats or whatever in this, but at least we're taking Sophia to a different locale here, and that looked
Yeah.
great. What is something that like stood out to you that we haven't talked about yet?
That Aphelion game might be cool.
Okay,
The
the
Don't
Don't
Nod
Nod
thing.
game. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. Like it looked a lot more action packed than their past decade of stuff. It reminded me. I mean, not combat or anything, but it reminded me. They did that Remember Me game, which I liked.
Yeah.
Uh, and so yeah, hopefully that's cool. Um, what else? Tony Hawk 3 and 4 look cool. That's due out real soon, obviously. Uh, the
Yeah.
big one. Did you laugh at all for that Invincible versus or VS game?
That's one of those like I always mean to watch Invincible and I just don't get around to it. So
Like the gameplay looked fine, but like they had that like stop motion kind of intro,
right.
and then the various conspicuous sound and fight that sounded like Mortal Kombat announcer dude. Like,
Right. Yeah.
I thought that musical game looked interesting, but I don't know if I actually like the music. I actually like more the cleaning up part of the town thing. I think it was There Are No Ghosts at the Grand.
Yes, the owner goes to the grand. I thought about you just like, oh, Mark's probably gonna like this thing. This kind of seems like
Well, I'll like half, and then Yen's will like the other half. So, I mean, it wasn't that huge a surprise, but that Persona 4 revival.
They did not show a lot of that.
Yeah, they showed all 20 seconds, and
Like it's nowhere. It feels like it's nowhere near as ready as Persona 3 Reload was.
I imagine. I mean, I think the voice actors outed them a little, but I still think like I would say even more than Persona 3. Like if they can't get some of those people back, that's one thing. But the fact they're wholesale replacing everyone, that leaves a really sour taste in my mouth. Especially since like some of those actors clearly like the characters or would come back if they could.
Right.
Yeah, the two stupid online, furthering service.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're gonna definitely talk about Sea of Thieves, Fallout 76, Elder Scrolls Online. Like those are their forever
Right.
games, and they.
Oh, I forgot about the third one, but yeah.
I mean, they do well. So.
All right. But yeah, I thought it was that's about it. I don't know. I'm actually kind of excited for Gears of War Reloaded. I still like that one the most, or I still like Gears 1 the best. So
yeah.
Are you gonna be rebuying Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 16?
No, I will not. I'm good. I bought those already. So, but yes, they're finally on Xbox. If you were a Final Fantasy 16 and waiting for remake to show up on Xbox, they are there officially now. 16 is out right now. You can buy it.
It's like I joked to you online. It's nice to see that Black Myth Wukong got those technical delays worked out, and it only took them a year.
Yeah, house. A
year to the day.
Exactly a year.
Yeah.
How convenient. Whatever. Just announce that you have a exclusivity deal and stop hiding behind anonymity or whatever. But I get it. You don't want people hating on you for console war BS. So
yeah, I better to lie to them instead.
Yeah, Ninja Gaiden 4 got a release date, October 21st.
That's sooner than I thought.
Yeah. I thought it would be their November game or whatever.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, like they don't really have, I thought Navy Gears E-Day. I thought Navy, Fable was probably supposed to be in that spot. And,
I thought it was incredibly inconspicuous that there were certain games missing that should be there.
It felt like outside of the Sarah Bond one, which was obvious, but I felt like the Matt Booty and Phil Spencer like appearances were kind of like taking spots that like were meant for games. Especially the Matt Booty one where he's just like repeating what Sarah Bond already said, and it's like, why is this in here at all? Like,
right.
Like we couldn't find a way to make this 5 minutes shorter. It had to last that long, no matter what. I don't get that. Also, shout out to Planet of Lana too. Had no idea that was even being worked on, so that's cool. And Obsidian, bro, they just keep putting out games. Like they're also making Grounded 2. Like, all right,
Yeah, I saw. I commented. Someone posted about that on Twitter. I think Blue Sky that like they're like the hardest working developers around.
Yeah,
and it's like, yeah, they probably want to be, or they have to be, because they don't want to focus all on one project and then have it bomb or fail and then have to lay off people. Like, it's better to have 3 or 4 irons in the fire, and if one does go bad, it's like, hey, you still got 2 or 3 more to work on, or to hopefully.
I mean, they're also smart. Like, let's be fair. Like, they've been working on Avowed for a long time, and then they were able to kind of stagger it out and then do Outer Worlds 2, and then that one kind of got announced a few years ago, and then Grounded 2, we don't know.
Right.
But also Outer Worlds 2 and Grounded have assets that they're getting to reuse and things like that. So it's not like they're starting from the ground up from all of those. Right. So there's that as well. Which, hey, I will say I don't play Grounded, but like getting to mount the ants and stuff like that, that kind of looked fun.
Oh, they also showed off that I can't find the name of it, but the Lighthouse game.
Oh, the Keeper. Yes, you were hating on Double Fine saying they need to be showing that game, and here we are. Of course, there has to be something weird where you're a sentient lighthouse just platforming and whatever. But
what's going to be really funny though is at the end they tied into BioShock.
But why would they do that?
Because BioShock is predicated on there's always a lighthouse and there's always a girl, or there's always there's always a lighthouse. I know that. So
and this is coming out this year too, October 17th. I was surprised. This is the one that surprised me. Like, oh, this has a release date. Okay.
Most of the stuff they showed had some type of release date at least.
Well, it had like a release year or something like that, and this one just it's coming out this year. So
I also can't wait till they sue that Anemo game into the ground. Nintendo.
Oh, you mean Nintendo?
Yep.
We'll see. They didn't outright like take Pokemon designs like Power World did. So
right.
I don't know. There's a lot of those Pokemon likes that are roaming around. So it feels like Xbox wants to make sure that they hit lightning twice with that. I mean, and if it fails, it's whatever. I mean, they got plenty of other ones in there, but definitely I love Double Fine's games, and Keeper looks cool. So I'm excited for that. I forgot to mention I was showing the trailer and didn't mention that I really I'm a huge fan of Spiritfarer, and their next game at Fate 10 looked really cool. So happy to see that as well, getting some love. The last game that they showed here, which is really weird because it's like if there's one game that doesn't need the one more thing treatment, it's Call of Duty.
The most obvious game ever, like,
and also like they normally don't do the same franchise like Call of Duty back to back like that.
Right.
Of course, Milo Ventimiglia or Heroes, This Is Us fame is the main guy here. This also ties back to like Black Ops 2 apparently. They had me going for a while. I thought maybe this is like, oh, are we going to do Control 2 here or something? And then after a while, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. It's Call of Duty. And then I was like, damn, really? We're going to end on Call of Duty? And sure enough, that's it. They ended on Call of Duty.
Right.
Any thoughts on that? Like, just...
No. It's supposed to take place between... after Black Ops 2, but before I think Advanced Warfare. I mean, who cares? It's getting so convoluted. It's like the Zelda timeline at this point. Look okay, or look theoretically interesting, but we'll see. Like, they announced a few more actors for it, like Kiernan Shipka and Michael Rooker. So that's always fun. But I won't play it because if I won't send me a copy, but go for it, I guess. But I do think it's weird that it's going from Black Ops 6 to Black Ops 7. There's usually at least one game break somewhere in there.
Exactly.
And maybe they're abandoning the whole like multi storyline or multi franchise approach.
Perhaps, yeah. I thought at first maybe that meant they were giving it like a break and they're just announcing it because they had another Call of Duty, but no, that this is the one that's coming in, I'd imagine November now.
Yeah, I mean it certainly seemed like it'll be announced or coming out this year. Yeah.
So the only other thing I think is Indiana Jones got DLC.
Sure.
And the Chronos, the New Dawn, the that next game from oh my god, Bloober Team has a release window of fall 2025 or whatnot. So that's good. Phil did kind of at the end, right before they cut to Call of Duty, he mentions that next year is a 25th anniversary of Xbox, and that as part of that celebration, they're going to have Fable, Forza Horizon 6, I presume, Gears E-Day, and a franchise that has been with them since the beginning. So you imagine it's Halo.
I know, man. I imagine it's going to be Bloodwake.
Yeah. And probably the Halo Combat Evolved remake again.
Right.
So are they hinting at that's the developer direct next year already? Because that's 4 big games right there. And it would make sense because if you're gonna do Fable, it's the same studio to do Forza Horizon 6. So I mean, that's a pretty huge slate if you're gonna give the 25th anniversary to like your 4 core franchises. I mean, how kind of cool how it worked out like that.
Even though at least 1 or 2 of them aren't 25th anniversary.
Yeah. I mean, Forza's definitely like the thing that's been, at least Horizon anyway. I mean, look, it's doing great on PlayStation. Gears is, we'll see what Reloaded does with that.
Right.
Going to PlayStation for the first time, But speaking of that, go ahead. Sorry.
I think Reloaded will actually do pretty well, but I'm more hesitant on E-Day.
We'll see, because it's gonna have the same. It's based on the same characters. So
no, I know, but it's a pretty cool, and it'll be different enough that some Gears fans probably won't like that. Like they didn't like the stupid chainsaw bayonet. I mean the actual bayonet, not the chainsaw gun thing. So
yeah, but perhaps maybe the biggest announcement of all of them is technically, even though it's not only theirs, technically new hardware for Xbox. In the Xbox ROG Ally, or ROG Xbox Ally, and the ROG Xbox Ally X, basically going off.
Talked about some great names.
Series S and Series X. The X is obviously the beefier, better, more advanced version that's black, and then you have the more regular that's more akin to like the base ROG Ally, base Steam Deck in the regular Xbox ROG Ally thing. It does have, and they let people try it out, so there are firsthand experiences with this thing. Gears Reloaded was the game that they used to let people show it off. And also Sarah Bond mentioned Silksong in here, that it will be available at launch with the system, although Team Cherry did come out and be like, it's not only launching on the Ally, it's that they're getting to promote that it's going to be available at launch when you buy the system. There's not a price particularly with it right now. The rumor is that they're going to follow pretty much the same pricing of the ROG Ally that's out there now. So anywhere from $650 to $700-ish for the regular, and then somewhere between $800 to $900 for the ROG Ally X. Xbox ROG Ally X. It also has an OS it's basically built for gaming from the Windows side of things, so it boots right into the Xbox app essentially, without having all of the other fluff. The ROG Ally right now will boot you into Windows, and then you have to go to the app that you want to use. This actually keeps you in the Xbox app, and you can go in while you're in that app. You can basically have a whole hub of all of your games, regardless of what store you have them on, and just play them right off that app. So if you're playing something on Steam, you don't have to go to Steam to play it. You can boot it from there, and it will play. That is something that I think for a lot of people that are, maybe have a bunch of different storefronts, and you want to buy this thing, and you want the gaming background and the gaming hub, I think that's awesome. And it also cuts out all the fluff that Windows will load in the background as well when you're playing this thing, so you're not having it run a bunch of crap that you don't need, and you don't have to go manually turn the stuff off either, which that's really good too. I think that's something that people hate about the ROG Ally right now, is that's an issue with that thing, is that it will run bunch of stuff you don't need. The X has that Ryzen AI Z2 Extreme processor, has a 1080p screen, 24 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte of storage. The regular one has the 512 storage with a 60-watt battery. It's supposed to really, it has a 1080p screen, but it's really built for like 720. And then the ROG Ally X is also a little bit heavier, but apparently it doesn't feel heavy. And the best thing that I've seen everybody say is that it feels like you're holding an Xbox controller when you're holding it. It does feel different from the regular ROG Ally. So that's cool. I don't know.
You gonna get
what
one?
do you think? Me, if it's $900, I don't think I'm definitely not going to, especially because that's half the price of getting a new laptop, and I definitely need a new laptop more than I need to have this thing. I'd love to have this thing, but it's like, that's just too much money. Like, somebody wants to buy it for me for Christmas or a birthday or a combination of both, I'm down for that. But I don't think I would go and buy it myself when I desperately want a new laptop. That would be able to do more than this. So yeah, that's not going to happen. Keith will get that before me or somebody else, the Outer Haven team. So I mean, like, I don't know. What do you think of this thing?
I don't know. It might be cool, or for the people that care about it. What was the one that had problems? Wasn't it the ROG Ally?
ROG Ally, the launch ROG Ally had issues. Yeah.
Let's see if they ironed those out.
Well, I think definitely, and I mean, it has some of the best specs of any of the handhelds. At least the Ally X does.
Right.
So that's a plus right there. You're going to get the best version of that's on the market. The problem is that within a year, whether it's Valve or Lenovo or even ROG themselves will come out with something that's perhaps better, and then
Yeah.
So
I mean, I wouldn't care about Lenovo, but I'd be more worried about Valve's the Steam Deck too.
Yeah. I wonder how long they're going to wait on that. Obviously, Valve doesn't. Everybody. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about, oh, well, this can't compete with Switch 2. It's like, I don't think anybody's trying to compete with Switch 2. They're not going to be able to compete with Switch 2 on that front. ROG partnering with Xbox maybe helps with that, because what Xbox is doing also as part of this is that they're going to turn every game in your library into an Xbox PC game now. So you'll have access to your entire library. I don't know if that means also your disc-based, like 360 and Xbox original games or whatever. If they'll give you like a digital...
Not unless they sell you a disc drive. I mean, hell no.
Well, no, but I mean, it's like they could, since you have proof that you own it, they could perhaps give you like a digital part of that on the storefront or whatnot, so you can use it on the handheld. I don't know how that's going to work, but
it's not. You're talking about a fantasy. That's never going to happen.
Yeah. But either way, the whole point is that they want backwards compatibility to work. They want all of your games to move forward to that thing. Whether you own them on Xbox or you own them on the PC, they're going to essentially try to make those all Xbox PC games. Obviously, if you own them on another storefront, you obviously have to make that storefront work with the system, and then you can, they didn't name them, but obviously we know which ones we're talking about, and they are very. Apparently, the people that were doing demos said that they wanted all the feedback possible, and that they are well aware that Steam and Valve are eating their lunch as far as what the Steam Deck provides. So, yeah, I think this definitely could be something for Xbox. The problem is the price is going to price out a lot of people with the way that the economy is right now. You're already getting people that don't want to buy an Xbox, the console. You're going to tell them
they raise the price on the Xbox.
Yeah, but then you're going to tell them that this handheld, that yes, I know it's a computer that you're holding in your hand, and all that stuff, and that does account for something, but it's like $300 more than the Xbox Series X or whatever. So that's not chump change. That's a lot for somebody to consider. I really wonder, like, is this really only for people that don't have a handheld at all? And you're looking to, let me go ahead and get the best one. This is the best one with a really cool OS that makes everything work together. Okay, cool. How does this branch out into the eventual console that they want to make? That's what I want to see as well. Does this mean that they never, if this does well, do they not ever come out with the actual proprietary Xbox version of this? Or does this eventually just, they use this as a proving ground to see what happens, and then they eventually do come out with the actual proprietary Xbox One? I do think that OS will find its way to other things. I think they've already talked about they're going to try to bring it to other Windows handhelds. So, trying to give SteamOS a run for its money there. They definitely know that they got their work cut out for them there if they don't get this to work. So,
I still don't have a ton of faith. Like, I think a gaming handheld is one thing, but Windows is so far, like, has such a negative connotation these days that it's hard for like PC makers to like use it, or like to be all gung ho about it.
What do you think the price is gonna land on it? I think they're gonna try to go as low as possible, but
I could see for the white one, the cheaper one being 600.
Yeah, that's what I was going
possibly.
at.
I could, but for the expensive one, I could see it probably being maybe 800.
Yeah, I could see that as well. And that's what my prices were going to go to at 600 and 800.
They've toyed this off and on in the past, but they should release like a subsidized model where you have to stay subscribed to Game Pass for like 3 years, but you get it for like $200.
I mean, you could technically do that with a firm. So like, you could just pay it in 6 months and pay like what, $150 a month or something, or $125
I know,
a month.
yeah,
Like,
but like some people still can't even swing that. So if it was just like $20 a month for 3 years, like that'll add up.
They did that with what was it, the Xbox Series X and S, and I don't think that worked out that well because the retailers wanted nothing to do with it. It was so convoluted.
Right.
So, but we'll see. I mean, if it's all online, I could definitely see them doing the like paying for and doing a firm and stuff like that with it. But I don't know that Xbox wants to get involved with that. Technically, if you do the whole year thing, you'd pay what, like $60 or something. So it's not that bad. Yeah, but that's the whole Xbox showcase. We'll see. They said the fall 2025 somewhere for this. We'll see how well this does. Especially with Switch 2 being out there. Will that, it being almost double the price of the Switch 2, and people were talking so much smack about that thing costing what it does, is there going to be a backlash on the price for this, or people are just going to accept that, hey,
no,
some heavy specs,
There won't be a backlash for two reasons. One, this is going to be like a mass market appeal device as the train goes by. And two, like, this isn't going to be like, it'll be in like a Best Buy maybe, but it's not going to be in like tons of stores. It's just going to be online, and Micro Center will have one probably, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can't. I don't think any of this crap you can actually just buy in a store, except for maybe the PS Portal.
PS Portal, yeah, you can.
But it's not like if you go into a Walmart, you're not going to see a ROG Ally on the shelf.
No, I think Best Buy doesn't sell them.
I imagine if they do, it's only online. Like, I doubt they would have it in the store.
All right, yeah. I mean, I haven't been into a store that's not Walmart in a long time, so.
I mean, I was at a Best Buy like last week, and it was depressing, or like 4 days ago, it was depressing as well. So
yeah, I imagine.
They were selling barbecues. So I'm like, yep, Best Buy.
It's I mean, I've seen them be selling, like, I remember when air fryers first became a big thing, they were selling those.
Oh yeah,
they sell washing machines and all that.
Hey, at least those are actually like I wouldn't say gadgets, but like powered. You know,
Yeah. Air fryers are useful for a lot of things.
right?
But you know who's also doing a showcase? Konami.
For all one game
I
they
think
got going.
technically two. It's supposed to be mostly Metal Gear Solid Delta and Silent Hill F.
Right.
But they do have other games that they're going to show with this thing. It's supposed to be 37 minutes. They already released one game this year, the Deliver at All Costs, that came out like a couple weeks ago. So I wonder if it's just like a couple of indies and then these two games, or will they have surprises? I hope so. Anything you kind of
Nope.
want to see? Maybe a new
I don't know.
Castlevania?
No, because I know that's not going to happen. And if it is, it's going to be a disaster. So, like Konami is such a like shell of a company at this point that I'm honestly surprised they're making that Metal Gear game.
I figured they had to at some point.
I mean, if they legitimately announced like a Metal Gear Solid Volume 2 that had Metal Gear Solid 4 on it.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm surprised that hasn't been announced. Like that didn't get announced at somebody's showcase or whatever, too, you know, considering.
But I imagine there's still a lot of I imagine even though it's like a decade old, there's still a lot of bad blood between Konami and Kojima. So even if it's technically possible, I still don't see it happening.
Yeah. You know, another. Go ahead.
I want that game, and I also want the bad GameCube Metal Gear Solid 1 that
Twin Snakes.
Yeah, Twin Snakes.
I bet they put those in there. I think like if you're gonna say that's a collection, you're gonna put all of those in there. I feel like, just give everybody the opportunity to have all of them.
Get Portable Ops and Acid 1 and 2 in there.
Definitely, those got to be in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Another thing that was interesting was, it leads me really to believe that like Nintendo has to have something coming, because, man, all these showcases, and I think I only saw like 5 Switch 2 logos.
I saw a lot more during the Xbox one.
Did they? Okay, I didn't really see. Okay,
I saw at least like 7 or 8. Cool. It's like, yeah, Super Meat Boy 3D is going to be on the Switch too.
Yeah.
Or some of the like Tony Hawk 2, 3, and 4.
I'd imagine that probably we're getting a direct pretty soon. Maybe, I know there's rumors that it's going to be this week, which they could do that. They've done that many times where they announce it like randomly on a Tuesday and they go, oh, on Thursday, get ready for 40 minutes of whatever. And a lot of these games that we didn't know were coming to Switch 2, all of a sudden here they are. Like Call of Duty's one that's like, it's announced for everything, even the old consoles. Like, you have to imagine it's going to be on Switch 2. They signed that deal with Nintendo. I mean, but it's also, that's a pretty big one to announce at your direct, right? Like, be like, oh, we're finally bringing Call of Duty back.
So I could see, I envision it would hit Switch 2, but I don't think it'd be game date, because who knows when they got like.
Yeah, that I could see like it's coming later, or because the other ones, they already had the base on there. They haven't made a Nintendo Call of Duty in a long time, so they got to get that whole.
They got to save it from Xbox format to Switch 2 format. That takes about a good day and a half.
For sure. Yeah, we'll see if we get any more showcases that, aside from the Konami one that's like randomly happening on a Thursday. Before we get out of that, Legend of Zelda, the movie, has been delayed till May 7th of 2027. So, yeah, coming out a little bit later. I guess they get more time to make that movie. That's good.
Yeah.
But all right. I mean, you've been playing Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster.
Well, before one direct thing, not direct, but just from the press release side of things, or press conferences side, did it feel weird to you that both Ubisoft and EA basically showed nothing?
No, because what do they have to show?
I mean, something would be good. Like, I'm not gonna say. I guess my point is, like, I'm not gonna say that like the health of a company is based on how many trailers you show, but if you don't show anything, it kind of makes it seem like you got nothing, and that's probably true, but it's still not a good look.
Well, Ubisoft delayed everything internally. They didn't announce which games are delaying, but they pretty much delayed everything and said there's no Ubisoft Forward. So that
Right.
pretty much meant they weren't going to show anything in anybody else's showcase. Ubisoft's pretty kind of they do throw Xbox or PlayStation games here and there, but they do like to have a lot of their stuff in those forwards or whatever.
Yeah.
EA, I mean, what do they have besides the 3 sports games?
Yeah. But
it,
that you're
like,
kind of saying my point though. Like they got nothing, or they got. So
I mean, they already had Split Fiction come out, and like after that, it's like they already did the Star Wars strategy game. So unless they had something to reveal for Jedi Survivor 3,
they announced a Split Fiction with like Mario and Princess, or Mario and Luigi costumes for the Switch 2.
Yeah. We're bringing these to Split Fiction. Let's see that.
Right.
Yeah, it is kind of weird, to be fair, but that's kind of where those two companies are right now.
Yeah.
They're kind of in a bunch of limbo, canceling things or delaying things or whatnot.
Yep.
You got any other games to add to your favorites list there?
Not really. I mean, the two from the Xbox One were I can't even remember.
The Clockwork game, or
Clockwork and oh, damn it, Persona 4. But Persona 4 is so out. Who knows? We'll see. I actually thought I mean, it's coming out next month, but Tony Hawk looked decent.
Yeah, but they definitely didn't show that much of it because
And Super Meat Boy 3D. I mean, Super Meat Boy 3D and Clockwork Revolution were probably my two games of that thing.
Yeah, I mean, Tony Hawk also has a demo you can play right now as well. So there's that. Super Meat Boy for me for sure. Keeper, At Fate's End, and Final Fantasy finally coming to Xbox. That's pretty awesome. I mean, or at least the two big games that we're missing, 16 and the 7 series. That's great that it's finally there. We can stop speculating every single freaking Xbox thing. Is this going to be where they show it? So it's there. You can go play 16 right now. They had oh god, why can't I think of his name? Ben Starr do a video,
right,
where he's the voice actor for Benedicta is also there with him, and they're sitting on top of a Series X, and they're kind of like going over the whole big features of the game or whatever, which is it was fun to watch them do that. But yeah, you've been playing Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster. What do you?
Yep. First time playing Suikoden 1 ever. It's interesting. It's pretty archaic. It's also kind of short. Like, it's only about. I mean, I got 100%. It was less than 30 hours long, maybe 25, and I played on like hard mode too.
Oh, really? Okay.
There are some trophies. It's not even that hard. I mean, I only died twice. Because I was for the main character, I kind of over leveled him. So that helped quite a bit. That is I mean, you can tell it's an old ass RPG though, because every character has their own separate inventory.
Yeah.
There's no party inventory.
That's the way Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D was as well.
RPGs of that era are like that. Or even like Mario RPG isn't like that. Like, they were like, no, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes like item management or inventory management really annoying, because if you got to try to find some like an item. There's an item called the Dragon Incense, which lets you restore a little bit of health in battle. It's like an infinite use item, so it's helpful to have. But if you attach it to someone and then you forget who it has, there is like a storeroom option where you can see everyone's inventory and then basically strip them of what they got. And that does help quite a bit, but still it's not great. Also, I only played Suikoden 2 and 2, 3, and 5. I didn't know in the first game you only had one rune slot.
Oh,
So
really?
like,
Okay. I
imagine
thought
had
that
like
was.
think about like Final Fantasy 7. Like, imagine if you only had like one materia slot
Oh, wow. That'd be.
forever. And also, your main character has a story, or some characters have like story or runes that are just attached to them permanently, so you can't
Yeah.
give them anything else. So that's
Or you
fun.
have to like go find them by doing a special quest or
Right.
something like that too.
Yeah. And also, speaking in one, like it has 108 characters, like the Stars of Destiny, but like so many of them are just like boilerplate or just like generic as hell.
Yeah.
Like you just find them in a bar and it's like, hey, join up, and they're all right, and then you never use them in the game. Like, so yeah, there are a lot. I mean, I don't know if they're ever gonna go back to speaking in one, but there's a lot of story stuff. It's like, oh, you got to use this like 3 characters along with the main character to go on this like base or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
yo, I haven't used this one character. Like my main hero is 48, level 48, and this other character is level 9. And like one hit, and they're like, there's no like, there's a party share kind of, but like no, but only
Right.
if they're like in your party. It's not like all your other characters get like, passive XP, because that'd be too easy. But it's like, yeah, one hit, they're dead. You also
Yikes.
there's not really a Phoenix Down equivalent in the game, or like revival bottle or anything like that. Like once they're dead until you like revive them from the main menu. Like even if you like heal them in battle, like they're just still unconscious. Like you get like one rune that can do it way late in the game. But that's about it. There's no MP. It's just like the rune, like as you level up, you get more magic points, which kind of elevates the runes.
Right.
But like, okay, like let's say your flame spell, you only got like 5 of them, and then that's it. Then you gotta go rest at the end to get more to like recharge them. uh, so yeah, it is interesting. I'm
Hey,
glad
I'm glad you got to
I
go
beat it.
back to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I just followed like 100% guide or walkthrough, so it made it really easy. But yeah, and then yeah, I started Suikoden 2, and I was like, yes, everyone, there's a party inventory, and everyone has actual like armor slots, and everyone has like
Yeah.
the 3 rune slots. How nice! Because
That.
everyone in Suikoden 1 has an inventory of like, I think it's 9 slots, but at least
Yeah.
4 of them are usually taken up. 4 or 5 are taken up by like equipment.
Fair enough.
So
Yeah.
you want to have a chest piece, a helm, maybe a shield, and then 2 accessories. So your inventory gets bogged down by that crap as well.
That's disappointing.
Yeah. Also, the funny thing about Suikoden 1, money is a problem in that game. Like you have a wallet limit of 999,999. But like to fully upgrade someone's weapon, it takes like 200 grand. And
Oof.
if you got 50 characters to do that with, which you're not gonna do with every character, but got to do with
Yeah.
a good chunk of them, that adds up. There's a mini game, like a gambling mini game that you do that
Yeah.
like breaks the economy basically, because you win it at like 80% of the time. So you got to do that a lot. Like, I
That's
guess I got to go
understandable.
grind out some more money. But
But
yeah, Suikoden 2, like I'm not too far in that one. But I know that one a lot better because that's when I played back in the day.
right.
Uh,
Exactly.
it looks better. And it has a like much more adult or much more interesting storyline. Because a lot of the characters in Suikoden 1 just barely show up, and like I said, like they
Right.
just go boilerplate. Like Suikoden 2 actually has like, there are some characters that are generic, but it's like 10 or 15, and in Suikoden 1 it's like 60. You know.
Damn. But I
Yeah.
mean, yes, Suikoden 2 is one of the classics of RPGs, like one of the best of all time. So
Yep. It's also
yeah,
the battles in Suikoden 1, the war battles are pretty easy, I thought.
yeah.
Uh and like there's a dueling thing, but it only happened like twice. I was really surprised because in Suikoden 2 it's a lot more important, or there's a lot more of them, at least like 7 or 8.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I liked it, and I'm happy to have it finished. I can go back to Suikoden 2.
Well, there you go. I mean,
Also,
yeah.
if you do play that game, finish Suikoden 1 because the main character carries over to Suikoden 2.
Oh, okay, that's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will definitely do that if I get to it.
I mean, never.
I wouldn't say never. There's probably lulls in this year where I won't have less to play. I could go back to it. Anything else you want to talk about before we get to the end here?
Not really. No.
All right.
There's a Twisted Metal trailer for season 2, I guess. But
Oh, I forgot about that.
yeah, you're not really much on media anymore, considering Doctor Who ended like last week. You don't care.
Well, I heard that was some people were talking about how bad it was.
It was bad in different parts, but yeah.
Yeah, and we'll see what they decided to do with it as far
Right.
as if somebody's gonna be
Rescue it.
doctor. Yeah, exactly. But hey, this is an interesting week for game releases. You got Dune Awakening, which you could have already started playing if you
Right.
had the early access. So I know a few people that already have. Mind's Eye, which has been getting a lot of interesting commentary. Stellar Blade comes to PC also on the 11th. Mind's Eye and Dune are tomorrow if you're watching this now. Five Nights at Freddy's and the Secret Mimic comes out on PlayStation and PC. They got the Alters that comes to Game Pass. That's that survival game that's like you're
Yeah,
like
yeah,
five
different
different
clones.
people.
Yeah.
The Gex trilogy comes out on the 16th as well. I know you're looking forward to
It
that.
should be called the Gexology.
All right, they should have called it that. And technically this will be on the day after we do the show again, but also FBC Firebreak will come into Game Pass and PS Plus on the 17th. So yeah, some interesting stuff coming this week. Some stuff worth checking out for sure. I'm definitely going to check out the Alters once it hits the 13th. If you haven't played Stellar Blade, go play that for sure.
Yeah.
It's an awesome game. And we'll see where Mind's Eye winds up, because interesting that we don't have reviews for that game.
All right.
And yeah, man.
It's always a good sign.
If you're holding the embargo till like the morning of, usually not great.
Right.
It's one thing for Nice Day for Fishing to do it, where it's like their first game ever and they're like, super indies or whatever, to this game that's being made by people that, have some clout in the industry. We're talking about former Grand Theft Auto devs and stuff. So yeah, man, that's going to be,
That's always been like a weird, I mean, I don't know if it's that guy or not, but it's always been like the weird, like, culture with Rockstar as well. Like, no early reviews or no, review the date of, and so, which is dumb because you think if the game is good, you want to generate some positive buzz around it.
It's the same thing with the Switch too. It's like Nintendo basically made sure that everybody got it on the 4th, but it's not fast enough to where people could have reviewed or been able to do a good review of stuff.
Let me ask you one thing about the Switch 2.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they should have delayed it a month?
No.
Okay.
Why delay it?
For Donkey Kong.
I mean, it would have been great to have the 1-2 punch of Mario Kart and Donkey Kong. I definitely always think you should have a single player option, very much like you have a Breath of the Wild at launch. But I mean, they have a lot of faith in Mario Kart, and Mario Kart is a really, really good game. It's just if that's not your bag, there's really not a whole
Right.
lot for you, unless you are only a Switch gamer, you haven't played Cyberpunk or you haven't played some of these other games or whatever. Then yeah, sure, you got a lot to play there. But for most people that are getting the Switch 2 as a
Right.
replacement Switch that already have the other consoles or have at least one of the other consoles
Yeah.
or a PC, I mean, yeah,
just a thought, you know.
I definitely think I would have loved to have seen Donkey Kong come out at launch. I think we would have had way less complaints about there being nothing to play or
Yeah.
or whatnot. But it is what it is.
Right.
Yeah. So that's it for the show this week. Thank you everybody that watched live or listened later or watched later. We do appreciate you. Hit that subscribe button. Go leave a review, follow, all that stuff that helps us out. We'll be back next week. Until then, see you later, everybody.